This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Hey, what's up, Wisecrack? Greg Edwards here. Look, ever since The Tonight Show aired in 1954, the American late night talk show has been as ingrained in American culture as baseball, apple pie, and using super soakers to drink tequila on hot summer days. And no one has done more to demean this hallowed format than comedian Eric Andre, who has used the genre to leave a trail of horrified celebrities, befuddled pedestrians, and decimated wooden desk in his destructive wake. But is there more to the bizarre antics and his penchant for being gross as hell? Is this really just a way to smuggle a deeper message to his viewers? Let's find out in this Wisecrack edition on the comedy of Eric Andre. But before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to this week's sponsor, CuriosityStream. If you're looking for more content to binge this summer, look no further. CuriosityStream has thousands of streamable documentaries and nonfiction TV shows on history, nature, science, food, technology, travel, and more. They feature shows from some of your favorite smart channels while also hosting exclusives and Curiosity originals. Right now, I'm watching Dream the Future with Sigourney Weaver, a series that explores how technology shapes us and how the future may be impacted by our innovators. I love that CuriosityStream is available on most devices, including Apple, Android, and your smart TV, so you can watch anywhere, anytime. If you click the link in the description or go to curiositystream.com/wisecrack right now and use code Wisecrack, you can get a whole year for just $14.99. You can cancel at any time, so what's the risk? Check it out by clicking the link below, and now back to the show. Here's a quick rundown for the uninitiated. Andre is a stand-up comedian.
During racial sensitivity training, he started saying the N-word like crazy. They're like, dude, this is supposed to have the opposite effect, Papa.
Actor.
How did you learn to do that? Well, the same way everybody learns. The day I hit puberty, a wizard appeared and taught me.
And dystopian talk show host who since 2012 has hosted the Eric Andre Show on Adult Swim with his sidekick, the hilarious Hannibal Buress. It features a mix of in-studio bits, interviews.
You ever heard of a robot before?
I don't even know what that means.
Hidden camera pranks.
I'm Mr. Burrito, the human pizza. We spoke earlier. I'm from the Pizza Society, and I'm here to talk to you about pizza safety.
And the occasional musical guest. It's often very weird, usually very funny, and if you watch an episode with your stepmom, Gail, she'll be very confused and extremely concerned. But Gail can be assured that Andre's doing more than just goofing around. In fact, he's working in the vein of a tradition first used to describe gross-looking Roman ruins, and later applied to everything from weird gargoyles to carnival freak shows, the grotesque. While the grotesque was once used as a way to strike the fear of God into the illiterate masses with this nightmare fuel, it really became what we know it as today at the turn of the 20th century when Italian playwrights created what critics called theater of the grotesque. The grotesque is more than just being gross, it's about transgression. By pushing boundaries and celebrating the abnormal, it helps us better understand our allegedly normal world. Andre is far from the first person to use the weird and uncomfortable for cinematic effect. Filmmaker John Waters put his name on the map for, among other things, making a movie where the main character eats dog shit. Ugh. Then there's David Lynch, who was more partial to severed ears. But in Andre's case, the normal world he's transgressing is the celebrity world. And what better microcosm of that than the talk show? In doing so, he wants us to question how normal the entertainment world is after all. You only need to look as far as the opening credits to know that the Eric Andre Show is going to be a million middle fingers to Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon and all their guests. Where a traditional show has a house band playing crowd-pleasing jazz, Andre's house band opts for the genre's discordant and chaotic cousin. Where a traditional opening credit sequence might have some B-roll of the host or a city skyline, Andre uses this time to psychotically destroy his set and occasionally get his sex cult raided by the feds.
Hey, the
ATF's here.
While this might seem bizarre and arbitrary, it destroys the illusion of normalcy that surrounds the late night format, giving the audience a taste of what's to come. The same can be said of Andre's interviews with celebrity guests, during which he'll do anything from set a rat loose
What's going on?
to pretend to actually pee his pants. By making these interviews as weird and unpredictable as humanly possible, Andre is transgressing the normal formula for how a host is meant to interview guests. A formula defined by pre-screened softball questions, clear setups for plugging their newest product or film, and so on.
Are you proud of it? Are you aware of how good it is?
And in doing so, Andre exposes just how meaningless, scripted, and sometimes straight up stupid these interviews and other talk show tropes really are. Is shooting up your onstage band really any more fake than rehearsed pleasantries? Alright, maybe it is a little more fake, but still. And while it might at times seem like he's just being a dick, according to Andre, it's not just about making somebody uncomfortable or harassing somebody or giving somebody a hard time. I set out to be the most incompetent talk show host of all time. It's more about blowing the guest's mind, having them feel sort of an out-of-body experience. He's the Morpheus of pop culture, if you will. But Andre isn't just transgressing the polite handshaking of meeting Jennifer Lawrence on The Tonight Show. By pushing boundaries in his real-world stunts, we can start to ask similar questions about the lines he's crossing there. Take the time that Eric ran through a Civil War reenactment as a shackled runaway slave. And because Andre has a tendency to push the line until he can't push any further, there's a slave catcher chasing him with a whip. While Andre's stunt is certainly weird, it forces us to ask more basic questions like, isn't it more weird that people do historical reenactments without addressing certain conveniently omitted details? Andre even said in an interview that the idea came to him after seeing an ad for Colonial Williamsburg.
Where are all my black brothers and sisters getting their reenactment on? And then I was like, oh yeah, black people weren't having a good time in the real Colonial Williamsburg.
Is Andre the weird one? Or is it the people who dress up as soldiers defending slavery? By disorienting our perception for a second, we're able to see the situation for what it really is. Look, I don't know about you, but I like to dress up as a member of the Chilean death squad on the weekends, for the history. If most art is an active expression of norms like Norman Rockwell paintings celebrating the joy of getting together and murdering a nice juicy turkey, the grotesque is about questioning those norms at every step. Andre is trying to achieve something similar when he runs into a Tea Party meeting to kindly let the attendees know,
Excuse me, you guys forgot your hoods.
it might be absurd to jump on a stage in an Alex Jones event and then self-identify as a nihilist.
I'm not a Democrat either. I'm a nihilist.
But we can also ask, isn't Jones' brand of snake oil-fueled conspiracy politics deeply nihilistic in the first place? We might compare Andre's out-of-studio antics to those of, say, David Letterman. Letterman broke up the monotony of studio time with almost purposely non-confrontational humor, like strapping a camera to a roller skating monkey or literally dropping random things off buildings, utterly devoid of any iota of social commentary. These stunts are put in stark relief by the wild, incendiary political acts Andre incorporates into his show. By turning a banal reenactment or political rally into a situation that feels abnormal and unstable, we're forced to see the normal in a whole new light.
Here's my hotel key. I want you to have sex with my wife.
It's like how if you drop acid before you watch the 1998 remake of The Parent Trap, you realize that it's actually a film about how all Americans have a split consciousness. On one side, we're rugged American individualists, and on the other, British snobs. And those halves are always trying to reunite so that our parents will love and accept us.
We actually did it.
But you didn't think we were going to skip the real nasty shit, did you? I mean shit, quite literally.
This is a bag of my feces. That's
Oh,
right,
Michelle,
honey.
come on.
There's enough for you.
That's right,
Eric Andre has a deep love for all substances capable of being expelled from the human body. Take the iconic example of Andre's interview with Lauren Conrad, star of MTV's The Hills. Her publicists clearly hadn't done their homework, as from the moment she walks on set, she's visibly uncomfortable. But always wanting to be a good host, Andre goes the extra lengths to make sure she's relaxed. by vomiting on his desk and then eating it in front of her. In case you missed that, he first pukes all over his desk and then he tries to subtly eat the puke. Conrad responds by getting the hell out of there. So is there any way to explain this that doesn't end with, and that's why Eric Andre is a disgusting human who never should have been given a show, and instead of watching it, we should all just watch reruns of Ellen, a host we can admire for her kind treatment of others. Here's what Andre later recounted in an interview about Conrad. I'm not trying to be a dick. She's cool. I have no beef with her. It's just, I'm a psychopath when I'm doing the interviews. I hope she doesn't take it personally, but she didn't like it too much. Here's the deal. We walk around in our day-to-day lives, wearing clothes, eating well-prepared meals, and wearing masks over our disease holes, trying to forget that underneath all of our civilized practices, we are animals that fart and burp and shit and piss and projectile vomit at Brittany Johnson's 9th grade party. Even worse, Andre invokes this humbling, embarrassing feeling in front of quote-unquote celebrities. Their entire careers typically depend on our belief that they are larger than life, that they almost certainly transcend the disgusting reality of their farts loudly reverberating in the toilet bowl in the shared office bathroom. Sorry, Jared. My bad. All right? What's more, he does so on the squeaky clean, suit-clad turf of a talk show, where hosts focus on family-friendly zingers and topical but not edgy commentary. It's also worth mentioning that late-night host Jack Parr got in trouble for making a joke about the water closet in 1960. By contrast, Andre spent an entire year not grooming himself before the filming of his 4th season, not even letting the costume department ever wash his suit. Like James Corden singing carpool karaoke, Andre is reveling in his own filth. But all of that said, is Eric Andre gross? Hell yes. 100 times yes. He's so gross. And it's shocking that he's been able to land so many seemingly normal romantic partners like Rosario freaking Dawson, who is now dating Senator Cory Booker. Andre is gross, but he is using this grossness to create his own theater of the grotesque, in which he is pushing boundaries and testing limits to make us think about how weird and often disgusting our supposedly normal world is. And just like a batch of your cousin Scott's special brownies, the Eric Andre Show is able to blow our minds and make us see things in a whole new light. So next time someone calls you weird for eating an ice cream sandwich in the shower, or gross for throwing up all over Wall Street, or a criminal for having a contest to see how many babies you can hold, you can respond by simply explaining that, like Eric Andre, you are an artist using the grotesque to push the boundaries of experience. But what do you think, Wisecrack? Is he just a nasty-ass comedian, or is there a method to his madness? Big thanks to our patrons for supporting our channel and the podcast. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching. Peace.